3 minutes ago, the world was settling into the familiar rhythm of royal wedding anticipation. Spain's excitement was rising, Denmark was preparing for one of the biggest state events of the decade, and Europe was waiting for carefully choreographed perfection. But then everything changed. A moment not meant for cameras suddenly surfaced, turning calm anticipation into a global shockwave. A moment that looked tender, human, and completely unscripted. And it involved Princess Leonor of Spain and Prince Christian of Denmark. Everyone expected formality. Everyone expected protocol. Everyone expected the quiet, controlled choreography that always surrounds royal heirs. But this new footage has shattered that expectation completely. And here is the truth that no one saw coming. What people think they saw is not the full story. In fact, this moment opens a deeper, more complicated window into two royal families, two nations, and one relationship that has been silently evolving under pressure, duty, and global attention. This is not just about a private moment. This is about what happens when future monarchs try to balance human emotion with the weight of 2 centuries-old crowns. And the real story begins long before today. To understand what this moment means, you have to step back into the months leading to this wedding. Princess Leonor was navigating the final stretch of her military training, facing political expectations from Spain, and carrying the responsibility of representing a modern monarchy. Prince Christian, meanwhile, was preparing for his own future role in Denmark, under scrutiny as the young face of the Danish royal family. Both were raised with the understanding that every gesture, every expression, every interaction would be watched and analyzed. But neither could prepare for the intensity of this moment. Their relationship has always existed in a delicate zone between public fascination and official silence. Every step they took toward this wedding has been shaped by diplomacy, tradition, and the enormous pressure placed on two people who didn't choose fame but were born into it. So when today's moment surfaced, it wasn't just surprising. It symbolized everything the public rarely gets to witness, the emotional weight behind royal duty. As the footage circulates, royal experts immediately begin dissecting what it means. Some view it as a natural expression between two adults about to unite two nations. Others argue that the timing raises questions about security, privacy, and both royal households' ability to control media in 2025. And then there are those who see something deeper, a shift in how modern heirs behave under pressure. A shift that reflects generational change, not scandal. To understand why this moment feels so powerful to the world, you have to examine how Princess Leonor has been portrayed for years. The Spanish public has always viewed her as disciplined, cautious, and deeply aware of her responsibilities. Every appearance she makes is measured. Every statement is calculated. So seeing her in an unscripted moment feels almost historic. It humanizes her in a way official engagements never could. Meanwhile, Prince Christian has grown up with slightly less pressure but a similar expectation to maintain composure. Danes respect a monarchy that is grounded, calm, and rarely caught in emotional displays. That's why this moment is now sparking debate across Danish media. To some, it's refreshing. To others, it's a sign that the line between royal privacy and public exposure is becoming impossible to control in the era of constant filming. But here's where the real curiosity loop begins. The question isn't just what happened. The real issue is why the moment happened now, so close to the wedding, and how it will reshape public perception of this union. Because this wedding is not merely a ceremony. It represents the first major alliance between two European royal families in decades. Behind the scenes, Spanish and Danish officials have been working tirelessly to coordinate traditions, security, guest lists, press access, and the political symbolism that naturally comes with two future monarchs joining their lives. This means the stakes are higher than ever. The Spanish royal household is already navigating political shifts, rising Republican sentiment, and ongoing scrutiny around the monarchy's relevance. Any moment involving Leonor immediately becomes national conversation. This new development only amplifies that pressure. On the Danish side, the monarchy is transitioning into a new era after Queen Margrethe's abdication, and Prince Christian's future role has never felt more significant. So when a private moment becomes public, both families are thrust into an urgent question: how do you maintain control of a narrative that changed in 3 minutes? Behind closed doors, you can imagine the immediate response. Advisors reviewing the footage, staff drafting statements, security trying to determine how the moment was captured, and both royal households debating how much to acknowledge and how much to ignore. Because addressing it risks drawing more attention. Ignoring it risks losing control of the story. But the emotional layer behind this moment is even more compelling. Think about the pressure both young royals have been under. Their relationship has been analyzed, questioned, celebrated, criticized, and interpreted by millions. Every step toward this wedding has been a global event. And now, as the day approaches, emotions that have been carefully held back are starting to show. Not because of scandal, but because they are human. That's the part the world forgets. Future monarchs are still individuals trying to navigate a relationship under a microscope. They are preparing for a life where their partnership will become part of national identity. And in the midst of all this, they are still just two people trying to maintain something real. This is where today's footage changes everything. It forces the world to see that behind titles, ceremonies, and crowns, there are authentic emotions that cannot be choreographed. It reveals that even the most controlled families cannot stop genuine moments from surfacing. And it confirms that this wedding is not just political or traditional. It carries a depth that no official statement could express. Now the question becomes, how will this affect the coming days? Experts in Spain predict that public response may actually become more supportive. Leonor showing human emotion can make her feel more relatable at a time when young Spaniards question the future of the monarchy. In Denmark, reactions are mixed. Some welcome the display as a sign of genuine connection. Others worry about the optics so close to a formal state occasion. But here's where the curiosity loop deepens again. The moment raises new questions that the public cannot stop analyzing. Was the timing accidental? Did the families know the relationship was going to show this level of emotion publicly? Will the palace release new photos or statements to redirect the conversation? And most importantly, does this reflect a new era for European royal couples who are no longer willing to hide their authentic selves? As these questions circulate, more details about the wedding itself begin to take on new meaning. The guest list, the security preparations, the ceremonial roles, the blending of Spanish and Danish traditions, everything now feels like a backdrop to a much more human story. A story about two people stepping into the most public moment of their lives with the world expecting perfection. But perfection is no longer the point. Authenticity has become the new power. And today's moment, unexpected as it was, may end up reshaping how the world sees this royal union. Not as a political alliance, not as a fairy tale, but as a partnership built on real connection navigating unprecedented pressure. As the world watches the countdown to their wedding, one thing is clear. What happened today will not overshadow the ceremony. Instead, it has added a layer of humanity that no royal strategist could have created. It has given the public something they rarely see, genuine emotion from two future monarchs on the edge of history. And whether the royal households address it or not, the message is already out there. This wedding is bigger than protocol, bigger than tradition, bigger than two nations uniting. It marks the beginning of a new era where European heirs are becoming more open, more relatable, and more human than ever before. And this moment, captured 3 minutes ago, will be remembered as the spark that revealed exactly that.